Everybody, Dan the Man. Today we're going to talk a little bit about calibers, all about calibers. Now, address a couple comments I got on a couple of my videos. Everybody knows my favorite survival rifle. That's a new one. That's actually not a, it's an AK variant, but that's a RPK, Romanian, that I'm working on. Everybody knows I love the AK platform, and one of my subscribers had some good points about not thinking that this was the best shit hits the fan or without rule of law type weapon. And his main point was that if you look at all the armories in our military, I think his exact words were, there's not a single round of this stuff in any of those armories. 7.62 by 39, one of my favorite rounds for combat. And he said he felt that the armories would be overrun, and what you're going to have is a lot of this stuff, which is 5.56, 223 for the AR. So his opinion was the AR was a better battle rifle, and I don't necessarily disagree. Maybe it's better for him, but my point is that I'm not so much worried about what the armories have around us. I agree. You're not going to find any 7.62 by 39 in them. Then again, are you going to be the one that invades or fights off the military to get to it? Not so much me, and I don't want them needing what I got. I don't want them, if it happens that becomes the enemy where our armories fall, I don't want to have to be the one to raid these bases. They're the most well-equipped military in the world. If you talk about survival, being in the military, there was no one better equipped to survive than we were. We had food that lasted for years. We had all the ammo we could need. We had the best weapons on Earth and the best training on Earth. So I understand his point that there's a lot of this stuff out there for ARs, and there is. But where is it, and how are you going to get it? And the last place to fall, if you ask me, will be the military. Those are the guys you're going to have to watch out for. Those are the guys who will enforce the martial law. Those are the guys who you want to stay away from. So for me, it's not an option to hope for this to be around. During that last gun grab, this is what was not around. You could not find it, and it started coming back, but the price of it is ridiculous still, in my opinion, when I can get Spam cans or surplus that goes bang every time. So my response to his answer that he thought there wouldn't be much of this, well, maybe not, but I know how much I've got. And I don't want to have to go out and steal it. My plan is to have stockpiles of it. And I do. I have what I need. Do you need more than 5,000 rounds of it? I don't know. I'm not planning on going on a military mission. And if that should happen, it could be we're invaded. And every army that might invade us, North Korea, any of the Middle Eastern countries, Iraq, all of these Afghani guys, all these terrorists, all they have is this stuff. So they might be your enemy, and that's what's going to be on the street. I'm hoping I'm not shooting at these guys. I don't want to shoot at these guys either, but to me, that's my enemy right now, is these guys that have this. And if I have to take somebody down, chances are I'm going to grab 3-4 magazines off of them, maybe an automatic one of these. So that's my opinion on it. I don't want to have to look for this stuff again. I'd rather stockpile this stuff. And that's just my opinion. So, talking about calibers, you know, there are many different ideas on what you need to have when the shit hits the fan. And I believe you need to have several, but I'll go over my favorites. Now, one of the things you should always have is a 22 caliber, you know, high velocity bullet, smaller bullet, not great for a man stopper, but it would work if that's what you got. Not really great for big game, but it would work, and it's accurate enough where you can put a few rounds on something or somebody. I don't go for the, you know, I don't really feel I need an auto, you know, semi-auto 22. I mean, this is it, little hunting. It's a Winchester, old one, I restored, works perfectly every time. Never going to jam, and I would use this in case of you know, needing to hunt small game, you know, going out on treks where you're looking for food, foraging. Not to mention, you know, the ammo's still cheap but really hard to find. So that's not necessarily one that I would want to have to depend on unless I have a stockpile of ammo, which I do. You know, you can still get these boxes for, you know, 25 bucks at Walmart, 550 rounds. I like the CCIs myself. So, I mean, I wouldn't necessarily want to have to try and find this stuff either if I didn't have a stockpile. But it is easy to stockpile. When you find it, buy all you can. And if you've got, I don't know, 5,000 rounds of that you're not going to use and save, you should be okay if you prefer a 22. A lot of people like shotguns. I will say this is one of my choices. I just picked this up for 100 bucks. That's a Mossberg 500, old school. It's got a little bit longer barrel than I needed. I am going to be getting an 18.5 inch for it. Might even cut this off. I don't shoot skeet. This would be more for a home defense and for shooting out in the desert. But what I did notice with the 20 gauge, and I got a box of 100 here today at Walmart, 26 bucks, 100 rounds. It's birdshot, but I make my own slugs out of it, and we'll do a video on that. But what I would say about this stuff is when everything else was gone, couldn't get 22, 223, 556, you couldn't even find this on the shelves, the 7.62. Hard to get spam cans even when the gun grab happened. What I still could find was this 20 gauge. So the reason I went away from a 12 gauge, got rid of my 12 gauge, I couldn't find that. So I could find the 20 gauge, and so that makes this to me really, really valuable. Now, if the shit hits the fan, you'll find nothing, but if we have these hiccups like we're having, I still want ammo, and I'm able to find that 20 gauge. Again, that's the Mossberg 500, old model, real smooth. I've gone through this and really worked it out. You know, just a good working gun that'll never fail you. So I definitely recommend a 20 gauge. If you want a 12 gauge, I like the ballistics better of the 12, but this packs a punch. Don't get me wrong. So I do like that 12 gauge. If you're not going to go with the AK platform, if you're not, then you need to go probably with the AR platform. It's a Colt M4. Beautiful gun, works flawless. Needs a lot more maintenance. That's my main detractor, is that this thing needs a lot of maintenance. It doesn't need it. You can just keep going until it fails you, but in my opinion, it will fail you if you don't clean it. It's not like you're going to put 1,000 rounds through this thing without cleaning it. You could try. This has never jammed, but then again, I might shoot 300 rounds and I clean it, and it needs to be cleaned. That's my opinion on that, and that's the main detractor for me. When I was in the military, it was fine because we had you know, backup troops. We had time. We had a perimeter set up. We had plenty of ammo for it. We had plenty of parts for it, and it has a lot of parts. But if you're just on your own and you want something that's going to go bang, that you don't have to clean for a month, to me, this is not it. I love it. I'll never get rid of it. But for survival, it's just not for me. It does reach out further, as we've said before, than the AKs. More accurate, but also a smaller bullet. I don't plan to be taking shots from 600 meters. I just don't. And if I do, I've got other rifles that can do that. So for me, that's my second choice next to the AK. Now, the variant that's in front of you, the RPK, is a really large, heavy-duty light machine gun model. I highly recommend, depending how much you have to spend, the normal AKM variant. And these are both Romanian, which everyone talks a lot of smack about. I've worked these over inside and out. This thing is butter. This thing is just butter, okay? So guys who tell me that, the Wasser or the whatever, I put hours into both. This is not done yet, but I'll go against anybody with this thing. Never failed me, never hiccup. That's my number one, is that guy right there, and you all know that. The other thing about it is the ammo's cheap. You can shoot a lot of it. It's all over the place. You can stockpile it in these spam cans, which I highly recommend, so you've got that going for it too, okay? So we've covered a little bit about, 22 caliber shotgun. Now we've gone over the AK variant, the AR, and everyone should have one of these guys. No doubt about it. That's the cheap, You know, that's the most in the gun, and I've worked these over too. You know, everyone talks about sticky bolts. Not this. That's a 9130. That's a wartime. I got it for almost nothing. It shoots every time. Shoots this large round here, 7.62 by 54 rimmed. People say Russian. It's not Russian. It's rimmed. There's a stripper clip 5 at a time for it. This thing, I can easily out hit from longer distances than my AR with more punch. I just tend to like the heavier bullets with more punch. That's just me. You might like the flat shooting, fast moving little bullets, and they're fine. This sucker, this will take down an elk, or this will take down a grizzly with it, one well-placed shot. So I mean, I think I paid under 100 for that, or traded for it. I don't remember, but I've got that, and that's something you should consider if you're on a budget and you want something that packs a wallop. That is going to serve you well. It's a man stopper. It's a deer stopper, and ammo. I got that for I think 89 bucks for that ammo can of 440 big giant surplus rounds. That are I love them. I think they're great. Now, the nice thing about it is you got other variants. That's the 38. That's the carbine model. This thing's a dragon. Shoots huge fireballs, but also pretty accurate. I like this one out to about 400 meters, but packs a punch, same bullet. And we're talking about same bullets, you know. If you're talking about survival and being practical, you need something you can get ammo for, but you also need something, you need weapons that are consolidated, so you're not looking for 20 kinds of ammo. Sitting on this table, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've got 5 or 6 different kinds of ammo, and that I've whittled that down in half. So keep in mind that, you know, for me, you can already see. There's my AK variant, RPK Romanian. Here's my Romanian AK-47 AKM. Here's my Yugoslavian SKS. All 3 of these are I consider my main battle rifles. And those all shoot that. So with that one bullet, I've got 3 battle rifles. That's important to me. Now, it might not be important to you, but when the ammo dries up, you want to have enough, you know, for the weapons you own. And if I've got a bunch of that, which I do, I've got 3 that I can load up with big magazines, and all 3 of those are proven, time-tested, great weapons. So for me to afford 3 ARs or even a Mini 14, I mean, you're getting into some bucks. So I mean, that right there is a $500 gun that I've upgraded to what I feel it's priceless anyway. So more economical for me. From 100 yards out, I don't think you can beat it. 150, even 200, you can't beat it if you ask me, as far as the punch that it packs and the amount of fire that it lays down. So just talking about calibers, you're going to like what you're going to like. You're going to have your reasons for buying what you buy. Just remember, your reasons are yours, and they're the right reasons. I don't live where you live. I don't know what your situation is. But I do know this. In my situation, where I'm at, I've got what I need. If I had to get rid of everything else, I'm keeping the AK variants. I would lose the AR in a minute compared to my AKs, and that's just me. But you know, what you really want to do is look at your situation, assess it, make sure that you're ready. Be ready. As I always say, aloha, and we'll see you in a bit, man.